What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Modern Life Insurance Hacks. I appreciate you being here. So, in today's video, I would love to talk to you about plugins. The reason why I'm doing a first video, this is basically one video, but I'm just divided it into two videos so that people who are already comfortable with the material, with what is a plugin is and everything techie, so they don't need to watch this video. If you have never really took time to understand what a plugin is, then this is a 10-minute video. You're just going to be able to wrap your head around the concept, and so that you can, if you decide later on to use a plugin, then it's easy. Okay, so in 1965, the Moore's law stipulated that there will be advancements in new technologies every 2 years. Today, we live in a completely different world, and I believe new technologies are appearing not every 2 years or every year or 6 months. It's like appearing every day. So we are living in a different world, and it's good for us. However, with so much information, we may get lost. And my advice, as somebody who's been in this business for the last 10 years, is to really focus on find one thing that is really effective and do it to the best of your abilities. This way you can generate enough results from it. And once you start getting enough results from it, then you can move on into the next thing. If you keep following the shiny object syndrome, you will always be leaving money on the table and without anything to show for. So allow me to share with you my screen, and let me get this bigger. So the AGENTIgnite, the new era of marketing. So the idea is for me to help you see the power of the tools we are about to use. I think it's important we can answer some core questions. What is a plugin? How does it work? And why it matters to start with. So allow me to break down all these basic questions and give you a clear definitions so that once we move into the demo section, everything makes sense and everything will just fit in. So what is a plugin? A plugin is designed to automate specialized tasks within a company, various departments. Whether drafting content for marketing, reviewing risks in document for a legal team, or drafting responses for customer support, plugins are the new way to use agentic automation to streamline work with specialized focus and repetitive nature. Now, what's inside the plugin? This is too much technical, but just to have an idea, each plugin bundles skills. So you have domain knowledge, you have Claude draws on automatically, you have connectors, you have slash commands, all this technical stuff that nobody cares about unless you are a specialist. So how a plugin works: when we decide to get a plugin, this is what we get. The plugin arrives already loaded with the information, but has placeholders in it for our voice, our specific ideal customer profile, and all the rest of the details to be filled in. Eventually, the output will comes out tailored to who we are, who we speak to, and the writing style that we already have. This is really amazing. And that's why a plugin don't know who you are until you fill in the setup files. So I feel the urge to repeat this because it is so important. This is not some generic AI tool that you will use once and forget about it. This will be your daily ready to market tools calibrated to your voice, your writing style, and your niche. So all you have to do is put a couple hours to fill the information in, and then you are ready to go. So why AGENTIgnite plugin specifically makes sense for you if you are a life insurance or financial advisor. I spoke to a lot of agents for the last year and a half or so. And one of the questions you'll be asking yourself is what AGENTIgnite plugin so? I'm sorry. So to answer this question, we need to first understand what most agents are hurting from. As I mentioned, I spoke to a lot of agents. And most Asian financial advisors earning between 60 and 80K a year are stuck inside the vicious loop. They are good at what they do. They know their product well. They show up daily for their clients, but they have no system in place and no way to generate leads that depend on cold calls, no warm market to tap into daily to create daily fresh sales, and no alternative to replace their referral system. So once they dry up, it's a bad luck. Now, once they become aware and decide to fix these anomalies, they go post on LinkedIn, they try some DMs, and the next thing you know, they say, well, social media is not working. So social media, in order for social media to work, it needs to be set up the proper way. You need to have an engine set up behind it so that it can work. So what is the solution? It's called AGENTIgnite, and it's a powerful because it doesn't treat symptoms. It goes deep into the root cause of the issue, which is the problem was never about effort. It's always been about infrastructure. So AGENTIgnite brings something very powerful. And this is why I want you to really take a moment and think about what we are trying to develop here. AGENTIgnite brings us a voice-calibrated content system that makes writing posts effortless, a structured outbound outreach approach that feels natural instead of spammy, an email sequence that does trust building while they focus on having conversation with clients. And best of all, when sales numbers drops, you have a clear framework for diagnosing why. So now, this is not even the best part. AGENTIgnite plugin solves all this without requiring agent to become a marketer, copywriters, or tech expert. And I'm going to stop here because this is very important. Every time I speak to an agent, their apparent surface level pain is I need more leads. I don't have enough leads. I don't have enough warm leads. It's all evolves around leads. And I believe this is only the surface level problem. And the real problem when you dig deep, it's not about leads. Leads is the symptom. What's the problem is that you don't have in place a marketing system that can allow you to generate those warm leads. That's the real cause of the problem. Now, why this is a problem? Because most agents are trained to be salesmen, not marketers. There's a huge difference. It requires different skill sets. It requires different understanding and knowledge. So you want to, in order to become a marketer, you need to go and spare more time into trying to understand how things works, into trying to understand different concepts, into putting yourself out there, putting your voice, putting your image out there. So a lot of things needs to happen. With AGENTIgnite, we have everything set up for us so that we can basically avoid all that and allow the technology to do the work for us. We have content machine that writes in our voice and in our niche in a minute. We have an outbound system that fills the pipeline with conversation. We have a nurture sequence that converts opt-ins into booked calls. We have landing page copy that converts without hiring copywriter. We have a weekly performance layers that tells them exactly what to fix. The agent who installed this and use it consistently will compound every week, and the one who don't will simply stay struggling and plateauing. This is the system that turns good agents into superstars. And to close in, if all this is not enough, think about it this way. When you install a plugin, it's literally like you are hiring a full deck of employee in your business and crack that positioning problem that's been holding you forever. And guess what? Most agents I speak to feel the huge pressure when I tell them you need to become a marketer. And with this plugin, you won't need to put your face out there. All you have to do is use the system, and the system will do the job for you. So with that being said, the next step now, let me close this. So with that being said, when we do part 2 of this video, we are only going to be speaking about AGENTIgnite. AI, and we're gonna dive deep into all the features that it has, how it works, how we can use it, so that if you decide to use it and you become part of the founding fathers with the 90% discount, then you are literally going to reap the benefits of being among a small community of people who gonna be who can be later on introduced into version 2, and a lot of bonuses to come with. So I'm not gonna speak about all that right now, because I want you to only stay and try to wrap your head around what a plugin is and how it can help you. And then in future videos, we'll be able to move deeper and talk about all the bonuses and all the technical aspects of the plugin. All right. So thank you for being here. Appreciate you. And if you guys have any questions, please make sure to put them below. I'll be more than happy to respond to every single question. Have a great day. Talk soon.